Senator Biden from Missouri. I was just wondering what you see as the difference between having the government completely socialize the health insurance industry, insurance, not healthcare, like you said, and how they could effectively run that when we see that the government can't effectively run immigration, it can't effectively run post offices. All these things are just hemorrhaging money.
Nor do we have the experience to just go online, read someone's opinion about healthcare, and then write a bill based on our young mind's opinion about someone else's thoughts.
There's not a two-thirds majority. The veto will be upheld. A motion to adjourn. And seconded. All in favor of adjourning the 2012 Boys Nation Senate, please say aye and raise your hand. Aye. All opposed, please raise your hand and say nay. The ayes have it.
Hey, good luck with your business, too.
We were in the East Room, and I was lucky enough to just find an empty chair, and I was sitting right center. So I'm waiting for him, and all of a sudden I open the door and I hear it echo down the hall, "Hello!" And I remember the hallway. That's where he announced that we had caught Osama bin Laden, and he's sitting there, and literally there's a dead quiet, and he's walking, and my jaw was open, and there he is, and the girls start freaking out, and then it was just like, bam, just like shell shock, and it just a flood of everything.
When the door opened a little, and then he walked in, it was like this calm before the storm, this silent euphoria. Like everyone's like breathing in. Oh my gosh, this is the president of the United States, and then it just exploded. I mean,
when those doors just opened and everybody was just silent, pure silence.
Solid
you could hear a
3
pin
seconds.
drop.
I was always looking at the door in the corner that was like half open, and every time I saw a shadow, I'm like, it's the president, and it wasn't the president, and it happened to me like over and over in the period of 15 minutes. I almost had like 3 heart attacks.
That moment that he walked in, we saw him walking in through the door. It was unreal. It was magical being able to see him in person. It was fantastic.
I noticed is the doors opened, and instead of the expected announcement and all the ceremony that attends it, instead the president just walked in and introduced himself. And I think that's unique. I think that's only possible in a republic. And even then, I think that's particularly American. The mood was electric. It was absolutely charged. Everyone smiled, burst into applause. A bunch of the girls started to scream a little bit.
And what I thought was best was his absolute command of the room when he walked in, his presence. You knew the president of the United States was in the room when he walked in.
walked in the room, like, floored me. I mean, this guy, he cannot walk into a room without, like, just making the air go electric. It is
a lot
amazing.
taller in person. Dressed in a sharp suit, it was just like, wow.
I said my name's Michael Richard, I'm from Massachusetts, and that's all I could get out. But he's got the best handshake in the world.
Yeah. When he shook my hand, it was the perfect handshake.
But it was just a great experience seeing him, that he was more than just shaking our hands or coming in to take the picture and then just leaving, just that, but that he asked us who we were, where we were from, was personal about it. It was a really cool thing to see from him.
Years and working my butt off at school, Week at Boys State, Week at Boys Nation. I knew it was an honor, but it wasn't really until I actually hugged the President of the United States that it set in that I've gone someplace.
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. I got to obviously shake the President's hand. Well, actually, that shouldn't be an obviously. That should be a wow. I got to shake the President's hand. One of his close friends, a mutual friend, isn't doing too well. And he expressed his best wishes for him, and then I worked on the campaign for him, so it was really just a pleasure meeting the man behind the policies.
Yeah. It was definitely the experience of a lifetime. I mean, we're all so used to seeing him on television and stuff that when he came in, you almost had to do a double take because you were like, am I watching TV? Oh my gosh, no, he's in the room with me. That's the guy. And I mean, it was It was amazing.
When he first walks into the room, it's like a total television. Like you don't actually think it's him. And then as the lines start wrapping around, you're getting ready to shake his hand and hug and talk to him. And it's like finally, it kicks in that you're about to meet the president. And I'm telling you, this is the greatest moment of my life.
It was absolutely incredible. I got the honor of presenting him a T-shirt or one of the Boys Nation shirts, and he shook my hand, asked me how my hometown was doing, and I gave it to him and helped make him an honorary Boys Nation member. So that was incredible.
I shook his hand. I told him that our city supports him, and I told him I'm studying his basketball jump shot, and he told me not to study his jump shot and study Ray Allen's jump shot. So that was a cool experience, by far one of the best days of my life.
I was standing in line, and he was going down the line, and he was shaking everyone's hand, and he got to me, and I was shaking his hand, and I said, kind of hesitated, and I said, "Mr. President, would it be rude if I asked you for a hug?" And he gave me that big signature Barack Obama smile, and he looked at me and he said, "Come here." And I gave him a huge bear hug. It was so great. And of course,
I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and he said, "Oh, great, and I said, "Well, now I'm in Topeka, Kansas." And he said, "Oh, well, I got connections in Kansas, too." And I thought, well, I bet you do, Mr. President.
It was so awesome. It was unreal. Probably the most memorable experience of my life thus far. It was just sensational.
It was breathtaking. He was so friendly, so genuine and everything, and the way he just came in and introduced himself, and I mean, obviously, the man needs no introduction, but he spoke to us as if he knew us all. It was unbelievable. Then we got to watch him take off in Marine One.
It blew my mind away. First off, getting to see him, when he walked in and waved, everybody was so quiet, and then the girl started screaming, and then next he's like, "Well, I got a treat for y'all, you can all see me fly away in Marine One," and then I was like, this is happening, no way. To see President Barack Obama fly in Marine One, that was probably the biggest highlight. To see him walk out and he turns around, waves to everybody, and gets back in the helicopter and all them fly away. And
the best experience of my life. That was awesome.
Marine One. We felt the wind from Marine One.
Exactly.
I mean, and he waved to us. He waved to us.
Meeting just the President of the United States is incredible. And watching Marine One fly off, you don't do that every day. Even the people who walk by the gate, that was great. When we were standing on the fence at the front of the White House, looking out at the windows of the White House and seeing everybody that we used to be as tourists walking in front of the White House, we're like, oh, well, we're on the inside now. It's amazing.
Well, this week has been a really long saga. And it's kind of like Star Wars, where at the end of the saga, at the end of the long movie, you get to blow up the Death Star. And that's kind of how most of us feel, Luke Skywalker flying away from the Death Star. How cool that must have felt. This is an amazing feeling, and it's such an honor. Such an honor.